It's just a little reminder for those of y'all who are starting your fitness journeys. Don't neglect your movement. Your body's ability to move over a certain range of motion is super important to like your ability to be able to move when you're older. And I feel like what most people do when they start working out, especially when they go to the gym, like they'll lift heavy, right? You'll warm up, you do like little stuff just to make sure you don't hurt yourself when you actually lifting heavy, but you focus more on lifting than mobility. And I'm guilty of that because I've been watching these YouTube channels lately. One of them is called Knees Over Toes Guy, and then the other one is Movement Gyms. And the lack of range of motion in my body is like alarming. Part of it is that I just sit all day. Like, well, I don't sit all day anymore, but like for years I have had a desk job. And because of that, I have neglected, like I'm not even gonna blame the office job honestly, because I could do mobility stuff every day if I wanted to, and I just haven't done it. So I'm not even gonna blame the job. But like you get into this pattern where you are used to sitting, and then everything you do is sitting. Like when you're leisure, you're sitting. When you sit when you eat, you sit when you work on the computer, you sit when you read a book, you sit when you rest. Everything that you do sitting, except for when you exercise. So like if I think about all the time I spend in a day, a lot of it's sitting. And what happens when you sit all day is that like you start to slouch, and then your body starts to contort in these like very unnatural ways. And what happens when you do that over years and years is you start to get people like, you ever seen the old people that got like the hunchback thing? Some of them have like, I'm sure have chronic stuff, but a lot of it, like a lot of us are headed towards that, not because anything like debilitating, but because like one, we are hunched over a device all the time, like phones and shit. And then two, when we sit in these ways that are not conducive to like a healthy spine, right? At least that's been my experience so far. All the people that I've gone to see about like my back issues or leg issues or anything like that, it has all come down to like posture, and then like what are you doing to maintain mobility through those ranges of motion. And you know what's crazy? As much as I like to work out, like which isn't, I mean, I don't love it, but like I like to see myself getting stronger. You very rarely see people who are really old like lifting heavy weight. Like I just almost never see that, because like there's gonna be atrophy. You're gonna have muscle loss. That's just the reality of it. So I gotta find a way to strike a balance between getting strong and like being strong and maintaining as much strength as I can as I get older, and mobility. Because like I'll be real honest, my pelvis is definitely twisted. I probably have like mild, or at least from what I saw in the x-ray, I have like mild scoliosis. I've had multiple injuries to either like my shoulder, my ankle, my knee, like all types of stuff that, again, these are things that I caused, but they're also things that I can not easily, but if I'm consistent, I can alleviate a lot of the stress and pain around those areas and gain back mobility that I haven't had in a long time. And the thing that made me think about this for the first time and like really see it is when my daughter started walking and running. And my wife always stretches. She's always trying to get me to stretch, and I just don't, right? But when I saw my wife and daughter stretch together, like babies can just naturally get into a squat position without much aid or assistance or difficulty. And I haven't been able to do that probably since I was a very small child. Like when I squat, like it is a very unnatural motion. And for a long time, I blamed like the length of my legs and like my general skeletal structure. And some of that probably does contribute. But in reality, I have created an unnatural structure with my own body to the point where it makes movements that should be healthy and good for me, it makes them really, really difficult. And a lot of times when you go to like, sometimes physical therapists, sometimes doctors, I see this with doctors more often than not. They're, a lot of times they are in the business of like pain management. So a lot of times they tell you to like avoid the movements that hurt, right? And what I'm learning is, and this is not a recommendation for any of you, by the way. You should all go talk to somebody professional before you figure out what you're going to do with your body. What I'm learning is it's not a long-term solution for me anyway, to just be okay never squatting properly. Like that's not healthy. At least in my mind, it's not healthy. So I need to, yeah, avoid pain, but still lean into movements that are uncomfortable, right up until the point that they become painful, right? And then I can back off. I gotta slowly build my way into that. That's what I'm trying to go for. I'm thinking about like 2026 goals, right? I want to be able to move my body in a way that does not involve pain all the time. And I'm not saying I'm gonna like, remedy my scoliosis, through stretches. I'm not saying that. But I do think I should be able to move without pain. I don't think that's an unreasonable goal. And again, a lot of the pain that I suffer from has a lot more to do with my immobility day to day and how I slouch and all the other stuff, the positions I put my body in over the years, than anything else. Like, can injuries contribute to that? Of course. But at 34, there should be no reason I can't squat. I can't like squat without it being very, very awkward. And that's the case right now. So I share that because I'm sure a lot of us are not as mobile as we should be. And I just want to make sure that anybody who ever watches any video I do on fitness or like my fitness journey and saying like, all right, I'm going to the gym, I'm eating better. Mobility has to be a part of that. If it's not a part of that, like what's the point of being strong if you can't move? Like what? And if you can only move in certain very specific directions, right? Like, great, you can deadlift a certain amount of weight. You can go down and up. But like, if you can't move in the way your body like naturally should be, like you should be able to do certain things with your body. And if you can't do that without either being very, very hurt or winded or whatever it is, there's something to fix there. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot about that. I'm sitting here watching this shit, and man, I got some work to do. So yeah, I might make that part of the channel and report in and see like how that goes, because right now my shit is tight, bro. It's tight. Yeah, we're gonna fix it though. I'll talk to you later.